Hello everybody!
And welcome back to another episode of Trash Talks with your hosts Harley
And Soph. So today is a pretty special one. We have food for one, so it's like a mukbang. We ordered from this place called Fat Burgers.
Only took them like an hour
Yeah.
to get here. And we're filming this on the day that the WandaVision finale came out. So, of course, that's what we're talking about. I feel like I'm going to end up doing most of the talking because massive Marvel nerd. Massive.
Also, massive spoiler warning, obviously. The finale only came out today. When you guys are seeing this tomorrow, it won't have been out for very long. So, if you don't want any spoilers, you haven't seen the finale or you haven't watched any of it yet, feel free, don't watch this week's episodes, tune in for next week instead.
Where do we start?
Episode 1.
Oh. You know, I was so naive. We started watching the show and I honestly thought it was just going to be Wanda and Vision, like, living their best lives.
Yeah.
Just, like, chilling. Of course, I don't know why I thought that, because, like, after Endgame and everything, Vision was no more. And it was bizarre. Because obviously, like, it was in black and white, and I don't know about you, but I couldn't really recognise them in black and white. I just can't... I don't know, I can't pick up on faces in black and white.
I don't think it was them. So, as we go through the episodes, when we get to episode 8, we're going to then tell you guys our theories for how it was going to end.
And how wrong we were.
Yeah.
If you can hear rustling, the cat has got himself in the takeaway bag.
Yeah. Let me just move that.
Get a cat, they said. It will be fun, they said. But yeah, so episode 1. It just suddenly starts with Wanda and Vision being like, "Hello, darling," and it's like, okay, how do we get here? Everything's in black and white and it's really old school, like 50s. And it very much feels like it's set up like a TV show, so it's like there's like audience laughter and it's all very weird. It's very cheesy, cringy, bizarre. And to start with, sorry, I'm just that hungry. You don't really think much as a miss. You're just like, oh, okay. Like, we first thought to start with that maybe she created like her own reality. Maybe it was like all in her head. Maybe she'd been like kidnapped and someone was torturing her. And then there's just like little bits in the show in the first episode where they have Vision has like a job and the people who work there come for like his boss comes around for dinner with his wife, and the husband starts choking on something and the wife's just like, "Stop it."
Oh, that was so
stop
weird.
it, stop it. And it's like, what the fuck? Oh,
That was really weird, that was.
yeah. And that's also where we first meet Agnes,
Yeah.
because she's like the friendly neighbour, nosy neighbour, and she comes around and brings her like food and stuff to try and cook. We should have known then. We should have known.
Because in each episode that happens, you start to notice like every now and again like little characters will start just glitching, and then you start to think, oh, okay, what's going on? Weird.
Or they'll say something and you'll be like, what?
Yeah. So then episode 2.
Episode 2, it's still black and white.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's when they have the magic show.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Yeah. And it's gone. Dottie. Wanda goes to like, I don't know what it's like, a mother's meeting or something. It's something, you know, like very lady friendly stuff. I don't know. And her and Agnes go, and Agnes is like, watch out for Dottie. She's like in charge of everything here. And this is also where Wanda meets a character called Geraldine, who, to start with, we're like, okay, whatever. Later on, we're like, okay, Geraldine's important.
Yeah.
We'll keep her. And they're at this meeting and they're all chilling, and then Wanda stays behind to help Dottie clean up. And something really weird happens. Dottie's like, she like glitches or something. I can't quite remember what she says.
Don't they have that like old school radio?
Yeah. And then you see Jimmy Woo, who's his character was also in Ant-Man. Yeah, Ant-Man. He was the FBI guy who learned the card trick from Ant-Man. It's really cool. He's like, Wanda, who's doing this to you? Come in, Wanda. And of course we don't know anything about what's going on outside of the little area that Wanda's taken over. So we're like, what the hell? Who is that?
Yeah.
And then, I'm sure it's the end of that episode, the first thing that happens is you start to see colour. Because one of the things that happens in that episode is Sword, who are outside, who are, I guess, technically good guys, they just had a bad guy leading them.
Yeah.
And that's the cat. They send in like a drone, and to make it fit Wanda's world, she turns it into like a little model airplane, like helicopter, but the colour's there, which I think is essentially why at the end of the episode everything suddenly bursts into Technicolor.
Yeah.
And I'm sure as well, at the end of that episode, doesn't Wanda become pregnant? Is that the second one? Or the third one?
I thought it was the first. I don't know. I didn't think she became pregnant that quick.
It's so weird, because like, I watched a whole bunch of them last night as well, just to try and like, get ready for the finale. It's also muddled in my head what happens when. But, why do I start a sentence and then put a chip in my mouth? Vision starts to clock that there's something going on.
Yeah.
He's at work. Oh, and they just start to get computers, which is like, everyone's really excited, and outside of where Wanda's taken over is Sword, and Darcy from Thor is now like a doctor in God knows what, astrophysics, something fancy, and she sends an email in. I don't really understand how. I don't know if she sends it in, I don't know, science. And it's basically saying that like everyone's been held hostage and she needs advice, and that's when Vision reads it, and then he touches Norm, who's like one of his co-workers, and Norm's suddenly like, you need to help, I'm in pain, I need to bring my sister, like what is going on, why can't we leave? And then like Vision like taps him again to calm him down and like make him forget again, and that's when he starts to realise that something isn't right in Westview. I don't think he quite clocks together that everything is Wanda.
No, I don't think he realises for a while that it's Wanda doing it.
And then maybe she becomes pregnant, honestly.
I think so.
I watched so much last night and it's gone.
I think she becomes pregnant in episode 3.
And it's right at the end, isn't it? Because the beekeeper.
Oh
yeah. So basically, Wanda and Vision are having like a little moment, and she suddenly like realizes she's pregnant, and then suddenly there's like something happens outside. They go to look, and there's suddenly like this beekeeper comes up out of the sewers, and it's like weird place for a beekeeper.
She sees him, and then she's like, "Not today," or she says
she's like,
something.
"No," and then you just see like the video almost cuts.
Yeah.
And the transmission that Sword received of like the TV show, it's not in there. It's bizarre, man.
And it's like, was it every episode is a different era? So I think we start off in like the 50s, and then you go through, and then it was really cool how they did it, because every episode, like their clothes would change, their furniture, home decor, everything would change to fit that era.
Yeah.
I like
and to
that.
start with, I thought it was just like a cool way they were doing the show.
Yeah.
But then you find out it's like how Wanda's dealing with everything. She's like, she makes everything a sitcom, because in sitcoms everything's kind of funny and no one actually really gets hurt. Which is heartbreaking.
Yeah. So, episode, what are we on? 3?
4?
4?
Going on to 4?
I think so. I'm going to try one of these.
Are they good?
Really good. They're like, mac and cheese triangles.
I'm glad you offered me this. It is very good.
It's good, isn't it? Oh.
It's alright. Okay, episode 4. She has her babies like in one episode, right?
Yeah.
Like she literally goes from hardly being pregnant to boom, babies. Yeah.
And it's where Monica comes in.
Yeah, so Geraldine comes around, who I don't think we yet know she's technically Geraldine. And she realises Wanda's pregnant and going into labour. Yeah. And all the time Wanda's been like super pregnant. It happened really quickly. And also, like her powers were going a bit weird. Like, just things were going, like the lights were going. When her waters broke, it like rained. And so Geraldine helps deliver the baby. And then it's all fine. Vision's gone and got the doctor, he's back. And then Wanda has another baby, which of course is Billy and Tommy, who are... My brain has gone. Wiccan and Speed. I want to say his name's Speed in the comics. I don't know. I'm not as in touch with the comics as I'd like. And then, yeah. Right afterwards, when the baby's like in their cots, cribs, I think what the Americans call them, and Wanda's like looking down at the kids and she's like, I was a twin. And Geraldine's like, your brother was killed by Ultron. And then Wanda's like, bitch, what did you say?
Yeah.
And Geraldine's like, nothing. No.
Because that was such a big thing, wasn't it? Just the fact as well that she even remembered. Because, from episode 1 to like where we are now, episode 4, it's still very certain. Like nobody actually knows what's going on. So some people were thinking like, is her memory wiped? Does she actually remember anything? Because as well, when she's in this place, she doesn't have her accent anymore.
She doesn't.
So some people were thinking that, oh well, is she like a completely different Wanda? Has she had her memory wiped?
Is she created like a false reality?
Yeah. So then for her to say, I was a twin, that was like, whoa.
Yeah. And then, I can't think what happens after that. Oh, she basically yeets Geraldine.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird, because in that episode, she throws Geraldine out, Geraldine leaves the hex, and at the end of the episode, Vision comes in and is like, oh, where's Geraldine? And Wanda says, oh, she had to rush off home. And then, when you see the preview for the next episode, in that same scene, Wanda says, she left, she didn't belong here.
Yeah.
It's like...
And it was like, what do you mean she doesn't belong here? Where are we? Because as well, I'm not sure if we mentioned this, but where they are is this town called Westview, and when you're inside the town, it looks normal, it looks like any other town. If you're outside of the town, like where Sword are based, all they see is like this massive red glow going all the way across where the town is.
Before it was red, it reminded me of the old school television screens that you can touch and feel the static.
Yeah.
And after that episode, we then go to sort of Sword's perspective. And sort of like what's going on or what they think is going on. And we go to Monica coming back after the blip and being like, where's my mum, where's Maria? And one of the doctors explaining to her that, oh, your mum died 3 years ago. And Monica's just like, what do you mean? I've been sat in there like her surgery just finished. And then one of the first things she does is she goes to Sword, which is, let me try and remember, Sentient Weapons Observation something. And she meets Tyler Hayward, who is the director of Sword. I think it probably would have been her if it wasn't for the blip. And he's like, oh, we need you to go, basically, to Westview, we've got like a missing persons thing, yada yada. She goes, she gets into the hex, and then obviously Sword are called because that's kind of a big deal. And they start saying, it's weird because Hayward was like, oh, we're tracking vibranium, Vision's in there, and all these things. And at the start, you're like, oh god, but like, and he's talking about how Wanda broke in, stole Vision's body, and he's got like a clip of her busting down the door.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh my god, has she really done that? Like, she's going off the rails. I mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
And you start thinking, like, what the hell is Wanda doing? Like, is she going to be like the villain of this show? How does this possibly get concluded? And then, yeah, Monica comes flying out and she's like, it's Wanda, it's all Wanda.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure Hayward, they send in a drone, don't they? Monica's talking to her through the drone, like, you don't need to do this, I get what you're going through. And then the director, Hayward, he just literally takes over the drone and fires a missile at Wanda, which, in my opinion...
I fucking hated him. He was a right bastard.
Stupid as hell. Like, you've got someone who's as powerful as Wanda.
Exactly.
Like, even the power she has at the start compared to the power she has at the end, completely different levels, but still, I wouldn't fuck with her.
Mm-mm.
She will whip my ass.
Exactly. So, we're on episode 5 now?
Or 6, time as a concept.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's had her kids.
Mm-hmm.
They find a dog. Well, they age up, don't they? Whenever it's convenient for them, they grow up. I think they start off as like toddlers, then they go to like 5-year-olds, and then I think they end up as 10-year-olds, and they find a dog called Sparky.
Yeah.
And if you've heard the song that we've all heard, Sparky doesn't last long.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they find him for what, a day?
Yeah.
And then suddenly he mysteriously dies, and Agnes finds him. And is like, oh, I think he ate some of my plants, it was too late by the time I found him.
I thought she ran him over with a car.
I don't know.
One of them.
Yeah.
And
Either way, he dead.
Because the boys coming in, they're like, Mum, I can't find Sparky anywhere. So she's like, okay, we'll go and look for him. So they're looking through the neighbourhood, and then that's when Agnes is there.
Mm.
I keep almost calling her other name.
I know.
We're not there yet.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then Agnes is there, and she's like holding him in like a blanket or a towel. And I can't remember if she said I accidentally ran him over, or he ate plants or whatever. And she was like, oh, I'm so sorry.
And the boys are like, Mum, bring him back.
Yeah.
Like, fix the dead, you can do it. And Wanda's like, no, some things are forever, like, you can't just do that. You can't, like, age up and run away from it, you have to just deal with it. So, the theory that she brought Vision back to life suddenly didn't make as much sense, because if she's got that opinion, why would she bring Vision of all people back to life when he made clear that wasn't what he wanted?
Yeah.
And then after that, Vision and Wanda have like a bit of a tiff, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Vision knows something is up, and Wanda's like, I don't know what you're on about, it's not me, I'm not controlling this. And just as they're having this like massive screaming match, well, it's not massive, but it's weird to see Vision shout.
Because it's so funny. So they're like kind of having an argument, and then he's like, Wanda, we need to talk about this now. And she fucking, because obviously she controls everything, she bloody started rolling the credits up over him.
Me avoiding
so
problems.
Funny.
And then they're trying to have this talk about it, and suddenly the doorbell goes, and Vision's like, did you do that? Because we're trying to have a conversation, like, are you sure? And Wanda's like, actually it wasn't me. Open the door, only Evan Peters playing Pietro, which is, I have some thoughts about this, but not till later. Yeah, and it's like, I don't know, it's weird to see him in it, because, like, he's X-Men Quicksilver, he's X-Men Peter. What?
You're doing that noise. I was trying so hard to cover it up, and I just couldn't. I was like, oh god, I made a weird noise.
I thought there was like a little dog or something.
Oh, keep that in, that was funny.
What was that?
I don't know, I just, as I was swallowing my
hiccup.
As I was swallowing my burger, I made like a weird little noise, and then I saw you were talking, and your face just went, and I was like, oh no! I was like, just leave it, forget it. Oh
god. Where were we? Right, yeah, Pietro. And he's very much like the X-Men Quicksilver. It's like very 90s, very... And he's still going.
Carry on.
And he's like, oh, give me a hug. And then he's like, oh, who's this Tin Man or whatever? I don't know, something. There was a pun. I'm so bad at summing this up, wow.
It is hard though, isn't it? Because obviously so much happens and you're trying to sit there and remember everything, and it is hard. I don't really like, this might be Frown Town, I don't really like Evan Peters as
You would probably like him in the X-Men film.
oh.
Like, he's a really good Quicksilver in there.
Oh.
Like, there's a really iconic scene where he, like, something happens in the, like, I don't know what they call it, the X-Mansion or whatever.
Mm.
And it's, like, blown up or something. Sweet Dreams is playing in the background. He's just, like, zooming, getting everyone. It's good. It's good stuff. Yeah, he turns up, and then, like, the show ends for the episode. And the next episode, is that the Halloween episode?
So what are we on now? Episode
6 or 7.
I think episode 7 was Halloween. I really like that one.
Yeah.
That was really good.
I like that they dressed up as, like, the comic book versions of themselves. And I'm pretty sure Quicksilver and Speed both had hair, like Wolverine.
And did look like it.
Yeah. And then, what does Vision do? He tries to leave the Hex, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he finds
So,
Agnes, doesn't he?
I
in
think
the car?
this whole day, so it's Halloween, and I don't know why I said Halloween like that.
Oh, I get it, you like it.
Oh my god, this is funny. So it's Halloween, and Wanda and Vision still aren't talking. So Vision's off doing his own thing. Wanda's looking after the boys, and they all get dressed up and they go like trick or treating and stuff, don't they? And yeah, so Pietro.
It's weird as well that there's suddenly so many kids, because in the previous episode, Vision was like, "Where are the kids?"
Oh, I never even clocked that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then suddenly there's like a million of them.
Yeah.
Oof.
And then, yeah, so they're having a great time, blah, blah, blah. Vision, meanwhile, is trying to, I think he's trying to find a way out.
Yeah, he's just like, he's on Neighbourhood Watch?
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a suburban thing, isn't it? Couldn't imagine. I'm pretty sure Beverly has one, actually.
Probably.
Um,
In the sticks.
Yeah. Like, oh, whose horse is that? Don't remember them being in that field. Yeah, and he's on his way out, isn't he? And he meets Agnes in a car, and she's just there at the stop sign doing nothing.
And also, what I thought was so clever, this will make sense in a bit when we get near the end, is her costume was a witch.
We should have known. Why didn't we pick up on it?
I know.
And yeah, she's just at the car. She's just like doing whatever, chilling. And then Vision's like does this little brain thing, and she's like, "Am I dead?" And he's like, "What? No." And
he's like, "Why would you say that?"
And she's like, "Well, you are." Oh, okay. And then she's just like dead, and then she starts laughing, doesn't she? And then Vision's like, "This is too much."
Her acting in that scene though was absolutely incredible.
Honestly, like, because she's like a comedic actor, I don't know why I didn't think she'd have like the range. Like, she's so good, just amazing. Like, I don't think they could have cast it better, to be honest.
The whole cast was brilliant.
Yeah. And then yeah, Vision sort of tries to leave, doesn't he? And Sword are tracking like him. I don't know how, because supposedly the vibranium, but no. Oh no, I need to burp.
No.
Choked on it, Jesus!
Well, Darcy set it up, didn't she? So
yeah.
you can see inside the hex.
Oh.
I can't remember if we told you it was called the hex yet.
Oh, we should have. That was like episode 3, my bad. It's called the Hex.
Yeah, the whole... Oh, so much hair on me. My lord.
Are
Yeah.
you okay?
Yeah, the whole town, Westview. What Wanda's created is called the Hex.
Yeah, there you go. And Vision tries to leave the Hex to talk to them, to be like, what is happening? I think we need your help. And he starts like deteriorating.
Oh, it was so sad.
Oh, I know.
I remember even sad, right? He was there, literally dying all over again, and all he cared about and all he was worried about is trying to help the people.
Oh, I know.
Oh.
And then, I'm going to get this the wrong way around. Billy? I'm going to say Billy. He could sense that his dad was in trouble. And he was like, Mom, Dad's in trouble. And she just suddenly just like, ah! And she makes the hex like so much bigger and like reabsorbs him back in.
Yeah. Oh, doesn't fake Pietro says something to her, and then she goes like this to him.
He was like, "Oh, well, your dead husband can't die twice," and she was
it.
like, "Let's go, boys."
Are you gonna eat your burger?
Yeah. That's because I know I'm gonna make a mess.
Go for it. Don't worry about it. If you don't make messes when you eat, what's wrong with you?
And Darcy, when Vision was outside the hex, was like, "Why aren't you helping him? Help it!" And she tries to get to him, handcuff her, stick her to a car, and then as Wanda is like expanding the hex, they all get absorbed.
Yeah.
Oh, my burger's so squished. Look at that.
Oh,
What? What happened here? Oh my goodness.
I saw someone. I bet you know what it is when you like message him to ask where he was. I bet he took the
Got a
food and
food.
stamped on it.
Yeah. Outrageous. Oh, I'm gonna make a mess. I'm gonna make such a mess. You're gonna have to do a lot of talking while I eat this. Good luck.
Because as well, anyone who goes into the hex so everyone is like assigned a role or assigned a different character. So anybody that gets absorbed into the hex or enters the hex are a different character, a different person, and they don't remember who they were before. Because then Darcy goes in and she's like there's like this like circus troupe and she's like part of them, and then Vision's there and Vision recognises Darcy and then tries to speak to her and she's like, whoa, what the hell, dude? And then he does this thing on her and then she's like, whoa, what the hell? And then them two hijack a ice cream van and then they're heading over to try and find Wanda. And then, oh my goodness, what happens then?
They get stuck at like every single red light ever.
Yeah.
And then like the traffic lights go and then there's like someone blocking the road and then there's like a
Did
million
you find
kids.
out, or was it said, was it Wanda that was doing that or not?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Okay, so
And that was the episode that was like a mockumentary style, where they were all like looking in the camera.
yeah. Yeah. What? I think the episode was called Breaking the Fourth Wall.
Yeah, yeah. And because there's one bit where they're like interviewing Vision, he's like, I don't know what I'm doing, I've got to get to my wife. But before that, he's like, he tucks like his hair behind his ear. Not that he's got an ear or any hair.
That was funny.
Mad. Oh, I've made a mess.
So we're on episode 8.
Episode 8?
Mm-hmm.
No, episode 7. Because at the end of that episode...
Episode 7's the Halloween one.
But episode 8's previously on,
Yeah.
where like it's all flashbacks.
Yeah.
Episode 9's the finale.
Well done.
So, episodes... Wait, what episode were we?
I'm going on to episode 8 now.
But episode 7, right at the end, Agnes is looking after the kids.
Oh, yeah.
Wanda wanders round. Wanda wanders. Ay. I don't know why that's funny. I'm gonna be quiet. And is like, where are the kids? And Agnes is like, oh, I think they're in the basement. Go have a look. Wanda's down there. Wanda's... Oh, what is happening right now?
Wanda wonders.
I'm so aware of it. Ah! And Agnes is like, what's up? But not quite. She has a bunny called Senor Scratchy that she's holding, which I think is cool. I want a rabbit. And
I'd have a rabbit.
yeah, I feel like he'd chew all the wires though. I wouldn't know how
wires.
to keep him busy. Plus Ambrose might eat him.
No.
He might eat Ambrose?
Maybe.
Oh no. And she's like, oh, where are the kids? And Agnes is like, oh, I've got them, don't worry. They're just like, you know, tied up, chilling, whatever. And Agnes is like, so by the way, I'm actually called Agatha Harkness and I'm a witch. Woo! Which is so cool because Agatha, A.G., Harkness, Ness, Agnes. Woo!
Wow.
I have no idea if that was the intention, but
Oh.
it's there, it fits. So, and Wanda tries to fight back and is like, you know, doing all her hand stuff. And there's like all these runes around, and Agatha's like, what the hell? Like, they're runes? Don't you know what they mean? Like, you can't cast your spell in here.
Yeah.
And Wanda's like, what the hell do you mean, runes? What? Witch? What are you trying? Like, I'm a Hydra experiment. And then, yeah, she like busts out, and right at the end, Agatha's like, you like have all this chaos magic, you're like a destroyer of worlds, that makes you the Scarlet Witch.
That was so
Dun, dun,
good.
dun. That was wild.
Well, she says that at the end of episode 8. Just like, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm so bad at this. I'm so bad at it.
It's fine.
Alright, so pretend I didn't say that until like 10 minutes on, okay? Alright, episode 8, feels. Did you cry in episode 8?
I nearly did.
I'm surprised.
I welled up. I could feel it.
I would have expected you to cry in that.
Same.
Probably like from the get-go, to be honest. Very emotional with these things.
Okay. Pull me out. I cry a lot, alright?
That's putting it lightly.
I love... Mum, no. I don't love crying, but like... It feels great to get all your emotions out. Like, I think I cry enough.
Oh, I definitely don't cry enough.
No, you don't.
No. No.
You never cry.
Yeah. It's like when you're raised in a household where like crying's seen as a bad thing, you learn really quickly to like not let it happen.
I actually figured out your mum doesn't watch these podcasts.
Oh, she won't. She won't. I asked her to watch one once, and she was like, why would I? And I was like, thanks for the support, Mum.
On next week's episode, unboxing trauma.
Trauma and mummy issues. Right, yeah, so episode 8. Eventually I'll take a bite of this burger, but I talk on my hands. Agatha wants to know what it is that led Wanda to have like all these powers. Oh, why do I keep drinking fizzy drinks?
Should have gone with squash like me.
I should have, but I just freaking love Pepsi Max, you know. So we basically go through like all these flashbacks that lead to where Wanda is now, and it starts with Sokovia. Sort of like Cold War era, which is funny because they walk into the room and Agatha's like, oh, loving the Cold War vibe. And it's like, no, it actually is. And you see that they like, as a family, her mum and dad are there and like Pietro is there and they watch like an American sitcom every Friday to like practice their English. And it's the Dick Van Dyke Show, which when you look back is like almost like a replica of like the first episode. And then you see this, suddenly there's like this massive explosion and you're like it almost made me jump how quick it happened.
I was really shook. I was like, oh.
And then another one drops and Pietro and Wanda get under the bed and they can see like the bodies of their parents, but the TV's still working. So Wanda's just like focusing on the TV, watching that, praying that the bomb doesn't go off. And Agatha's like, oh, that's like what does she call it? A probability hex or something?
I think so.
I don't know. Man, I wish that magic was real. I'd cook dinner so quick. I don't know.
Out of everything you could do.
Yeah. And then it basically goes on to her being in Hydra, getting experimented on. And it's weird because you see her walk into the room and the guys, like the Hydra dudes, you know, the Nazis. We don't like Nazis here. They're like, are you sure you want to do this? Like, no one's ever survived, like, being near the stone.
Yeah.
And then it's weird because the scepter's over there and she stood there and all of a sudden you see, like, the stone come out and float towards her. There's, like, this massive burst of light and you can see, like, her, like, almost comic book outfit in the reflection on her eyes. And then you just see her collapse. And then, but the Hydra guys, when you see what they saw, they didn't see anything. They just see her collapse.
They were just like, what the hell happened? What did you do?
Yeah.
And it was like, I didn't do nothing.
And then after that, obviously, we have the events of Ultron. Her brother dies. That's probably pretty traumatic.
Yeah.
Can't relate to have a brother.
Same.
What happens after that? Oh, she's sat on the bed, isn't she, watching Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh, yeah.
And Vision wanders in and he's like, I don't know what I can say because, like, I've never lost anyone before. And then he comes in with this one line and he's like, what is it? It's like, grief is nothing but love persevering.
He says, what is grief if not love persevering?
Yeah. Oh.
Ah!
I never thought I would see a Marvel show depict grief so well.
Yeah.
Like, all the sort of, like, the real, I don't know, like, the hurt of it and everything. It's bizarre, but great, I think. And then, what happens afterwards? Oh, you see...
With Thanos.
Yeah, you see with Thanos, you see Vision die again. And then, you see what happens in Sword? So right at the end, you see her, like, she comes back from the blip. She's in a car, she drives to Sword. She asks to see his body.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah!
I remember.
And, so what we saw in, like, the first or second episode where she, like, bursts through the door to supposedly steal Vision's body.
Because this is what we've been told by fucking Haywood the cunt. This is what we've been told since, like, episode 1.
Is not what happened at all, is it?
No.
So the reason she burst down the door is they were going to buzz her in, but she was like, nah, it's true, I got this. And she's like...
But she didn't do it in, like, a...
an angry way.
No, he was just like, oh, let me get to the door. And she's like, it's alright, I've got it. So she does it herself. That was it.
Yeah, and then you just see her, like, marching down, going to get a lad. And then you see her, like, in Hayward's office, and it's such an uncomfortable stare he gives her. Like, the whole time he's like...
I hate him.
Oh, I'd slap him. With a fish.
Same.
And he's like,
I'd snap his neck.
okay, you took it to a whole other level. I just want to slap him with a fish, like, and you're like, yeah, murder. And she's like, I just want to see him, like, he was my everything, he should at least get a burial. And Hayward's like, well, we're not going to let you bury, like, £3 billion worth of vibranium. Not just that, but, like, he's not yours to bury. Like, he's a thing, not a person.
Imagine saying that to someone. Like...
I'd have done some murder. Like, I think Wanda did very well. I'd
See? Snap his
messy.
neck.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. And then he's like, well, I understand why not all of us have the ability to bring our dead back online. Oh, sorry. Back to life. And then, but the problem is he's not yours. And then she, like, breaks the glass, goes down to see him. He's all cut up in pieces, isn't he?
Oh, it's awful.
Ugh. And then...
Because obviously she's going to, like, see his body, and he's got, like, an arm over here, an arm over here, a leg over here, a leg over here, his head over here, his torso over here.
Yeah.
And I was just like, imagine.
And then she's doing, like, a little wispy thing, and she's like, I can't feel you.
Yeah. Because as we know, in a previous Marvel film, she says, I just feel... She's
Endgame.
Because I think so, he says something to her, and then she's like, I just feel you. And then in this, she's like, I can't feel you. And then she starts crying.
You okay? You good?
Oh, it's so sad.
But then she leaves.
Yeah.
She doesn't steal his body. She doesn't do any, crazy shit. She just leaves.
She just goes. She goes quite peacefully, actually, I think.
Yeah, she goes to her car. She has a piece of paper.
Oh.
She drives to Westview, which looks a mess, to be honest.
She did that town a fucking favour. I'm telling ya. She did that town a favour.
The glow up.
Yeah.
And so she goes to, like, this building lot where, I don't know what you call it, like foundations? Yeah, a plot. And you see her open this piece of paper and it's a property deed.
Yeah.
And it says, it's like a little heart and it's like, to grow old in, V.
I will be honest, when I watched it, I didn't clock it at first. I was there watching thinking, what does that say? I didn't get it at first. And I saw you look at me
I
and
was
I
just
was
there
like,
like,
oh, what did I miss? What did I miss? And then obviously afterwards I was on Twitter and I saw it all and I was like, that's what it said.
Yeah. And then you see her just drop to her knees and just all this, like...
Power.
Yeah, comes out of her and you see, like, Vision sort of being, like, built with the power of the house.
Yeah, so as she goes like this and like, all her power's coming out, she kind of, that's it then. She builds the house from all that pain and sadness and grief. She builds Vision. She transforms the whole town. So it kind of does a whole 180 and you really get to see, like, how it happened.
Yeah, it's definitely not what I expected it to be. It's a lot sadder. It's a lot more traumatic.
Yeah.
Oh. And then, yeah, I suppose at the end of that episode, was when Agatha's like, that makes you the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. Because Agatha's using her power and she's floating and she goes like this and her power's purple and she's got the two boys and she's got like a noose around both their necks.
You know what? Power. Why didn't they walk backwards? Why didn't they walk backwards?
What would that have done?
Well, because it was like a loop around their neck. If they'd have walked backwards, it would have loosened.
No, I'm not sure about that.
I don't know. Plot hole, Marvel. Explain.
Right. Okay.
And then it ends, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we have the finale.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun. I already can't remember it.
What do you mean? We only watched it this morning.
Okay, so how does it start?
So it starts how the last one finished. And you've got Agatha still being a bitch,
she,
strangling the kids.
Yeah.
And then Wanda and Agatha have like a little fight.
Oh yeah, they do.
And then the kids get free, and then Wanda tells them...
Sends them to their room.
Yeah, she's like, go to your room, kids, go to your room.
I don't know why I found that funny. I was just like, what's that gonna do? Like, who's that protecting? Can't someone just go in the house?
Sure, you're ruining it now.
I'm sorry.
And then, and then Wanda flings Agatha into this house.
Oh, and then she throws a car on top of her.
Yeah.
And all that's left is the boots. Throw back to Wizard of Oz. But yeah, and then after that she turns around and Vision's there, but it's not Vision, it's White Vision. Oh, who was in the post-credit scene of the episode before, my bad.
Oh yeah, Haywood made like a White Vision, which is basically...
I think it's from the leftover of his body, isn't it?
I think so, and it was confirmed that was Ultron, innit? Or was that just a theory fans made?
No, just a theory.
So that was an Ultron?
No.
Oh!
I don't think so.
To be fair, I'm trying to think now. They never said he was, did they?
And then, like, Scarlet Witch is like... Why did I call it Scarlet Witch? It's Wanda. I mean, it is Scarlet Witch, but it feels weird saying it.
Okay.
It's the Avengers name, you know. She's like, oh, Vision. And then he grabs her and he's, like, holding her head. And she's like, hello. And then he's like, squish.
Yeah, he tries to fucking crush her skull.
And then other Vision, like, nice Vision, is like... knocks him out of the sky.
So then you've got, for a while, you've got White Vision and Vision in the sky fighting.
Yep.
And then you've got Agatha and Wanda in the sky fighting.
And the kids are just watching.
Yeah.
They're just like...
And then we also missed one other thing out. I apologise. So in one of the previous episodes, Monica... So basically, Monica was in the hex and then Wanda kicks her out. And then she goes back in and then she comes out again. And then she says she's going to go back in and she's going to talk to Wanda and try and like fix everything. Or just talk to her and let her know what's going on. And then Darcy does a load of tests and he's like, you can't go back in because every single time you go in, the hex is rearranging your cells and all your DNA. So then they try and do this thing where they put Monica...
Oh, she has like some massive truck thing, didn't she?
Yeah,
yeah.
And she's got like this special suit on and everything. And anyway, so she's driving and she's going into the hex and the truck thing, it won't go. It won't go in. So then she gets out and then she just goes in on her own and you watch her go through the hex and she's like walking through and she starts changing and then her eyes go like purple.
And you hear Captain Marvel in the background be like, alright, Lieutenant Trouble. When they were handed out kids, they gave your mum the toughest one. And
then she comes through the other side where Wanda is and she has powers now. Because at one of the end of the episodes, she goes to try and speak to Wanda and then Wanda doesn't want to hear it and like pushes her into the air.
And then doesn't she do like superhero landing?
Yeah, and then she like lands, and then Wanda's like, whoa, what the hell?
And then in this episode,
Fake Pietro has got Monica
hanging out in his little man cave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's banging on the window like, Wanda, and she can't hear her.
And then she picks up like a piece of paper that has fake Pietro's name on. Who?
I'm sorry, this
decided to call him this.
This was ridiculous. So she picks up this fucking picture, right? And
it's not Pietro. That's not who he is.
No. His name is Ralph Boner.
Are we back in high school?
Like, I don't get it because it didn't really make any sense and it wasn't funny. Like, it was a weird joke that didn't land. I didn't get it. And I went on Twitter after and loads of fans feel the same way. They're like, this was dumb.
Yeah, it's a massive anticlimax. I think they cast Evan Peters as Ralph, whoever, basically to sort of draw the X-Men crowd in.
Yeah. But it just didn't make sense because basically he had this like necklace on and Monica takes it off him and then that's when he's like, oh my god, like thank you, like don't hurt me, what's happened, blah blah blah. And then she's like, nice to meet you, Ralph.
But then if like he's not even Pietro, why was he so fast? Or was
I don't
that
know.
the necklace as well? Like, but yeah, basically then Wanda goes into like town. She's sort of walking through trying to find Agatha, and Agatha starts sort of like undoing what she's done to all the people in the town.
Yeah.
Like one of the characters, Dottie, comes up and she's like, please Wanda, like we'll do whatever you want us to do. We'll be your friend, like we can hang out, our kids can hang out, but please just let me see her. Yeah. Like my kid's been locked in her bedroom since you got here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's mad.
But obviously, still at this point, Wanda's like, what are you on about? Like, you can go. Like, I don't understand. And then they're all like, what do you mean? We can't leave because you won't let us. And then Wanda didn't realise. And then Wanda, like, breaks down and she kind of, like, scream cries. And then to, like, try and quiet everyone. And then she starts choking them and she's like, oh no, I didn't mean that. And then she stops that. So before we carry on, we're going to say, so this was my theory. This is how I thought it was all going to end. So I thought White Vision was Ultron. So I thought White Vision was Ultron. And then I thought maybe White Vision and Vision were going to like fight. And White Vision was going to kill other Vision. And then I thought there was going to be like this massive like fight. And Wanda was going to lose everything. She was going to lose the boys. She was going to lose Vision. Everything. And then I thought she was going to completely break down and lose it. And then, because apparently it was rumoured that Doctor Strange was going to be in the last episode. So then I thought Doctor Strange was going to come through, like do one of his portals and come through. And then take Wanda to like an alternate dimension. And take to like a different universe so she couldn't harm anyone else and so she was safe. That's what I thought was going to happen.
What I thought was going to happen? I thought White Vision and normal Vision were going to fight. Somehow Vision was going to win and put his consciousness into White Vision.
Oh yeah.
So that he was like good but could also leave the hex. The kids, I don't know why I thought they were going to survive. Just because I thought that'd be a really cool way to introduce them to like the MCU. I wasn't entirely sure if Agatha was a villain.
No, I didn't know either.
And I thought Director Hayward was Hydra.
Ah.
And I was wrong about everything.
Yeah, me too. So, yeah. So you've got fighting.
Oh, and then Wanda starts using her powers on Agatha, and Agatha's like, oh, my thing is that I absorb people's powers.
Yeah. So, like, she's trying to fight back, but then all her hands start turning like a dark grey.
And like she starts going like all old and wrinkly, and she's like, I don't care, you can have them.
Yeah, and she's like throwing all these like balls of her power at Agatha and stuff. And I'm just there thinking, oh God, she's literally, like, I was thinking the whole time, oh, this is it. She's giving up. Like, she's not going to be the Scarlet Witch anymore. Like, this is it. And then...
Wait. They're having this massive fight, right? Like, it's do or die. Vision and other Vision are just chilling, like, having some little conversation about fucking philosophy in the ship of Theseus.
Yeah, but then before this big fight with them two, he's on the ground with the boys watching.
Oh, yeah.
See?
I don't know.
Yeah, and then you're thinking, oh my God, this is it. Like, this is the end for Wanda. And then Agatha... she says something, and then she tries to use her powers and nothing comes out.
She's like so ready to do like some big impressive...
And she goes... and nothing happens.
And then she's like, okay, alright, let's hype this up.
And nothing happens again. And then...
some clouds
I was
like,
so confused, because I was like, what the hell? And then Wanda moves, and then you see a rune behind her, and a rune behind Agnes. And... well, Agatha, I guess. And then Agatha's like, what the hell? And then Wanda's like, well, you're the one who told me that only a witch who casts the runes can use her magic. So she used her own shit against her, which I thought was great.
And then she like sucked it all out of her, didn't she? She was like...
and then all her hair changed and her outfit changed.
I liked her outfit, actually.
That was really cool.
Because, like, I know the comic book one's really... I don't know, you can tell it's designed by a man.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of cleavage, there's a lot of it's very short, whereas that was alright. That was, like...
that was really
pretty cool. Yeah.
And then she comes onto the ground and she says to Agatha, she's like, you can stay here and you can stay as the role
Of
that
nosy
you
neighbour,
chose as the nosy neighbour. And then Agatha's like, no, Wanda, don't do this. Like, you're going to need me. You're going to need my help. And then she's like, well, if I need you, I know where to find you, bitch.
And then she's like, poof.
And then changed her again.
Agnes is like, did I leave the oven on or is that you, hot stuff?
Yeah.
I'm going to use that on you next time.
And then she goes over, reunites with Vision and the boys.
Oh, don't.
And then... oh yeah, because like Sword got in, like Hayward and that got in. The boys dealt with them in a great fashion, I think. And then you see Hayward getting taken away.
He was going to shoot one of the
handcuffs.
kids, weren't he? He was trying to shoot... who the fuck shoots kids?
Yeah, because that's when Monica stepped in, didn't she? And she like used her powers, because Hayward comes in and he pulls a gun out on Tommy and Billy, and then Monica jumps in and then she goes like this with her power, and then she's like, I don't really get what her power is.
She looked like jelly.
Like she
I don't know if
turns.
that's a power.
I don't know. It's kind of like she slowed down the bullets before they got.
But
to
they
her.
went through her and slowed down and then dropped.
Yeah,
Jelly.
maybe. And then the hex is closing, like it's collapsing, and it's as it's coming nearer, everything is like changing back to like the original form.
Yeah.
But obviously, as we know, Vision and the boys, they're not real. Like, they can't leave the hex. So they go home, well, to their home, and they took the boys in and say like goodnight and stuff.
Oh, and she's like, thank you for choosing me as your mom.
Yeah. And then they go downstairs and they're having a little moment.
And what is it Vision says? He's something along the lines of, we've said before, we've said goodbye before.
And then she's like, so let's just say hello.
Again, yeah.
Again. Ah!
And then it all closes and she's just back where she started.
Yeah. So then the hex closes and then she flies off and you're like, oh, okay, where's she going? What's happening? She goes and then it ends, doesn't it?
Well, there's a mid-credit scene and an end-credit scene. The mid-credit scene, I already can't remember.
I can't remember the mid-credit one.
think it was something to do with Jimmy Woo. Oh no, it's Monica. Right, so Monica's there, like hanging out with all the people. One of the police officers comes up to her and is like, "Oh, someone wants to talk to you in the theatre."
Oh yeah, I remember.
And she's like, "All right, here we go." The police lady follows her in. She turns around and is it Cree or is it Scroll? I want to say it's Scroll. Person is like, "Oh, a friend of your mum's has heard that you've been grounded, but he wants to see you." And she's like, "Oh, okay, where?" "Up there." And she's like, "I got this."
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna see her again in Captain Marvel 2.
Yeah.
And then the end credits scene.
Yeah. So it like the camera pans out, and you see like this massive lake and all this like forest and everything, and then there's like this little cabin, and you see Wanda just sat on like the steps of the entrance of this cabin.
It looks like a lovely cabin.
Yeah. And she's like sat there like drinking a tea or whatever. And then you're like, oh, okay, like that's what she's doing now. Got it. And then you go in and you've got Scarlet Witch in a different room in all her gear, floating, and she's got the Darkhold. And she's like using her magic and going through it, and then it ends.
I have so many questions about how they got the Darkhold.
I know.
Because in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Ghost Rider basically yeets it to another dimension. Like, how did they get it? Like,
yeah. So overall, this is just me personally, I absolutely loved WandaVision. I thought it was really, really good. I think the casting was absolutely incredible. Like, I don't think they could have got any better than the cast. And even with Monica, so obviously we see her as a little girl in Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So to get the actress from that to then a grown Monica, they literally look like they're the exact same person.
Honestly, yeah.
That was so well done. The acting was incredible. The storyline was amazing. I loved the whole like sitcom vibes from it, and I loved how there was different Easter eggs in things as well. That was really clever.
Like the ads and stuff.
Yeah. And I really, really liked it, and I really loved how everything linked in and stuff. Was I disappointed in the final episode? I don't know. Maybe a little bit. Like, I loved it, and I liked the last episode. Yeah. But, like, Doctor Strange was meant to turn up, and he didn't.
You know who caused that, though? Paul Bettany. He was like, there's going to be an actor that I've always dreamed of working with in the final episode. Of course he meant himself.
Yeah. And then...
He had us all going, though.
I think there's a lot of things that are, like, left on, like... Yeah. We need to know more.
Like, Monica's powers, what are they? Scarlet Witch, how did she get to like that cabin? Like, do the rest of the Avengers or what's left of them like know what's happened?
What do we do about the Darkhold?
Yeah, because I'm sure in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., anyone who has the Darkhold essentially ends up bad because like it's too powerful.
I'm be gutted if they turn her into a villain.
I'm be gutted, but I'm still watch it.
I'm still gonna watch it, but it's just I don't want her to turn into a villain.
It'd be nice to just have a powerful female character that's just powerful for the sake of being good, than anything else,
What are your thoughts on it?
I loved it actually, but I love most things Marvel do. I wasn't sure about like the sitcom layout to start with. It was very
different.
Yeah, but I've never been someone who watched sitcoms really. If they did the second season, I would 1000% watch it.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
And the ending, I wasn't disappointed, it just definitely wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah.
But I don't understand what the point in fake Pietro was.
No, me neither. And to give him such a ridiculous name was just so stupid.
Yeah.
I just didn't like that at all.
But I definitely want to... it's frustrating to have to wait so long for Doctor Strange 2. I know,
yeah. Because that's... So Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness, I think is meant to be coming out... like 25th of March next year. So we've got a long wait for that.
Who knows, maybe by then we'll be out of lockdown.
Maybe.
Probably not.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think it was really, really, really good.
Honestly, I didn't expect a Marvel show to be so good at processing grief and stuff.
Yeah.
And the fact that the message was, not a message as such, but like, the difference between losing someone suddenly and having them ripped away from you like violently and the ability to just be able to have the choice to let go. And I don't know, it was like I'm so bad with words right now.
I think as well, right at the end of in the last episode, like I was expecting her to break down, I was expecting her to cry, and it was just like I'm used to it kind of thing. And I think that was really good as well, because a lot of people think that, you know, with grief and stuff, you think this is it, like this is going to be my life forever, I'm never going to get over it. Not that you ever do, but you know. So then to see her right at the end, and she didn't cry, she didn't do anything, it was as if like she's kind of made peace with it in a way.
Closure. She had some closure, at least.
Because I think she's probably grateful that she got to have Vision again, and then she got to have the kids and stuff.
Because I suppose the way Infinity War ended for her, she got blipped, didn't she?
Yeah.
And she saw, like, Vision basically got killed, she got blipped, boom. She comes back, like, Tony's gone, Nat's gone, Gamora's gone, like, so many people have gone, but only Tony got a funeral. And there was meant to be a scene in it that was like, it was one of the deleted scenes, where she was meant to be like, why is everyone acting like Tony was the only Avenger? No funeral for Natasha, no funeral for like the Synthezoid, like something like that. And yeah, like I couldn't imagine like a 3 week difference between essentially getting, I don't know, I couldn't imagine it.
It was a lot to happen to her.
Yeah.
For a character. It was a lot to happen in such a short space of time.
Mentally unstable because she lost a brother and grew up in like a war-torn country.
And her parents.
Yeah. And then fell in with Hydra.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe she'll find some therapy in Doctor Strange.
Maybe.
I think the girl could use it.
I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably rewatch it at some point. Again.
It'll be cool to like rewatch it and like see all the Easter eggs and stuff and see if there's anything you missed. Or maybe you didn't understand the first time and now you're like, oh, I get why they said that. So, yeah, it was really good there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's WandaVision, everybody.
Sorry about the ranting in all directions.
Yeah.
We do our best.
Yeah. But, yeah, that was really, really good. I really enjoyed that.
Same.
So, yeah, if you guys don't know, I posted it on my channel last week or something. So basically what's happening now with Trash Talks is we're gonna film the podcast every 2 weeks instead of every week, because sometimes, you know, you'll have a week and not a lot happens and there's not a lot to talk about. But we knew that we wanted to do like a really big fun one for WandaVision, because it's been 9 weeks of like such a roller coaster journey.
9 weeks of trauma.
Yeah. So we knew, and obviously we love Marvel so much, we knew we had to come and like do like a whole podcast dedicated to it. So yeah, again, if you did like enjoy this and you did like it, and the whole mukbang element as well, I just thought it was something fun that we could do. So yeah, if you liked it, please like this video, leave your thoughts down below. Let us know as well, guys, if there's anything that you want us to talk about, if there's anything you want us to cover. There is a lot going on in the world right now with different people, let's say that. That we could easily do a whole...
I feel like when you say different people, you mean James Charles.
Yeah. But obviously, we'll leave that. This was meant to be a whole, like, Marvel special. But who knows, we might have more information with that, so we could talk about that maybe next time.
Rock up like, hey, he's been arrested!
So, yeah, again, you know, just let us know what you want us to talk about. We're open to talking about anything. Yeah, just, you know, subscribe to my channel, Save the Ghoul. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. TikTok's where I'm most active, so check me out there.
And I am on
Instagram,
Facebook,
YouTube,
yeah.
And TikTok.
Oh, yeah. I've only got like 6 TikToks posted, mostly of the cat. Yeah, Harley Gaming Productions, please check it out.
Yep. But yeah, if you guys can, you know, subscribe, because it does really, really help us, and just let us know, you know, do you like this podcast? Do you like different elements that we bring, so like mukbangs and things like that? You know, we're open to trying like new stuff like all the time. So yeah, it's been great, and WandaVision was amazing.
I don't know what to do in my life now.
No, me neither. So yeah, you know, stay safe and we will see you next time.
Yes, we will.
Bye.